Buy my lettuce, my devil's lettuce. So if anybody would like to address the person that just came up.
I just cooked. I'm plating my food. So if anybody else wants to do that.
Damn, be safe. Maceo, can I get your age and race, please?
Over 50 black. Does that suffice?
Okay, go ahead.
Black people cannot be racist. I disagree with that, and I think actually you guys disagree with that.
What'd you say?
I said I disagree, and I think even the panel would disagree if it was phrased differently.
And why would that be?
Because the same people who say black people cannot be racist say black people can be anti-black.
And how is anti-blackness racism?
How is anti-blackness not racism? It's literally racism targeted at black people specifically.
How can you be racist against your own people? That's my point.
By being anti-black.
Be and anti-black is what you say, child.
But racism is based off of someone and systemic. But you can't have interpersonal racism without systemic.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
And the whole racial system was literally built by white people for white people to put white people at the racial hierarchy system, and black people have always been at the bottom. That's how the racial casting system is.
But what does that have to do with what I said, though?
Racism and anti-blackness are two different things.
What's the difference?
Because anti-blackness is talking about hating someone or targeting someone or discriminating against someone because of their skin color or having thoughts about someone because of their skin color.
That's not true. That's colorism.
A black person.
That would be colorism.
Colorism is anti-blackness.
So don't people from Asia and India deal with colorism?
Like I said, colorism is anti-blackness.
So how are non-black people dealing with anti-blackness?
Because non-black people still have anti-blackness in them when they think that, someone has to be white in order to be a good person.
Huh? I'm asking you about people from India. People from India deal with colorism, correct?
Yes.
But they're not black, right?
Some Indian people are black.
I'm talking about non-black Indian people in Asia.
Yes, have they not been touched by colonialism?
Yes.
Okay. So wouldn't colonialism encompass that?
You're changing the subject. How are
putting the propaganda? I'm not changing the subject. I'm on par with you.
But
you're asking how would that affect them? Colonialism in promoting whiteness and the spread of whiteness would encompass that by pushing that propaganda onto Asian countries.
I'm asking you how Asian people are dealing with anti-blackness when they're not black.
Was that the original claim?
That's what she said. She said they're dealing with anti-blackness.
Wait, where is this? Sorry, hold on.
She said Asian people in India are dealing with anti-blackness.
Like, they could mean that, like, as perpetrators rather than victims.
No, she said they're dealing with it as in they're victimized by anti-blackness.
No, I didn't say that they're victimized by it. I'm saying that they're dealing with it because they perpetuate that shit.
There you go.
So, who are they perpetuating it on? Other Asian people, correct? Because Asian people in India can be very dark-skinned and deal with colorism. When I said that, you said, yeah, it's anti-blackness.
Yes, because are there not black Indian people?
There's not black Asians, no. You can't be black
That's a
and
lie.
Asian. So you can be two races
I
at
think
once?
that's true.
So you can be two races at once.
No.
Okay, so how can you be black and Asian?
Everyone got their drinks? I would like to make a toast.
They still live in the continent of Asia.
That would be their nationality, not their race. We're talking about
Yes.
Asian as a race.
That's what I'm saying. Asian people still perpetuate anti-blackness over there.
You're not. So what I said was,
People who are black,
ma'am, you're
regardless of their nationality.
this
'Cause the
isn't
black
tracking
people
because
make up the diaspora.
I asked you, are people in Asia from India dealing with colorism? You said yes, it's anti-blackness. I'm talking about people in Asia.
No, because wait. You said colorism,
Yes,
and I said colorism is anti-blackness.
and I agreed. And I said, but what about people in Asia who deal with colorism? Are they black? You said yes.
Yes, because there are black people in Asia.
Ma'am, I'm not talking about people I'm not talking about black people in Asia. I'm talking about people who are Asian who have dark skin, like in India. I said they deal with colorism, meaning they're on the receiving end of colorism. And when I said that, you said they're dealing with anti-blackness.
Holy hot tub time machine. There's a cat making it a hot.
Then we were talking about two different things.
No, you just didn't understand what I was talking
It's one
about.
of those things where, like, two
Serious
things can
text
be true.
appeal.
I mean, her background's loud. I can't hear you.
I feel like this is one of those things where, like, two things can be true. Like, there are black people in Asia that experience racism, but there's also, like, people in Asia that experience colorism. So, like,
Yeah, but nobody argued that there's not black people in Asia. I'm not talking about black people in Asia. I'm talking about Asian people in India who can be very dark-skinned who deal with colorism. Because she said that colorism is anti-blackness. So I'm asking, are non-black people who deal with colorism now black because they deal with anti-blackness?
No, I did not say they were black. I'm just acknowledging that there is black people among the diaspora.
Which had nothing to do with my point about Asia. Because Asia is not part of the diaspora.
Which is why I said we
it
were
had
on
nothing to do
two
with
different
our
playing
either, to be fair.
fields.
We're talking about black people.
We're talking about colorism.
No, everybody up here, are talking about black people.
Okay, black people can be racist.
Why do you think that?
You think it too.
You don't know who the fuck I am. Just answer my question.
He said that anti-blackness is racism.
It's not.
I feel like it's one of those, y'all know how, like, a rectangle's a square, but a square is not a rectangle?
So it's racism, but when black people do it, it's not racism? That's what you're saying?
Black people can't do it. That's our entire point.
So black people can't be colorist?
No, black people can't be racist, like the prom
Can black
said.
people be colorist?
Sure.
Is
Yeah,
colorism
I'm
a form of
not racist
racism? Yes or no?
No.
What?
PK,
Where? Okay, so where did
PK, how brain dead are? Don't
so
talk
where
to me.
so PK, where did colorism come from?
Like prejudice, I would assume,
From what type of prejudice?
against light skinned people or dark skinned people. You'd have to know what racist
Light skinned
mean.
people are victims of colorism too?
How?
Like I said, he already established that he thinks that you can be racist against your own people. So
I mean,
Wait a minute. Before we move forward, how are light skinned people affected by colorism?
ask him. He said it, not me.
No, I'm asking you because you made the statement.
I repeated what he just
I only
said.
heard you making the statement.
I repeated what he said.
Okay, well,
No.
I'm asking you though.
I don't think they can. So what's next?
Well,
PK, you said that light skinned people can experience colorism.
I don't know. Like, dude, what I'm trying to say is, like, maybe it can, maybe it can't. I really don't know. But
No,
This-
light skinned people cannot experience colorism.
what I'm trying to say is it has nothing to do with racism, which is our entire point.
So host, colorism has nothing to do with racism?
No, not in the sense that you're trying to correlate the two.
So where did colorism come from?
I know the history of colorism. I know it stems from the system of racism cropping up, but notice what I said. I didn't just say no.
So we're saying colorism is tied to racism, but it's not a form of racism, even though it's only used
I
against.
said no, not in the sense that you're trying to make it correlate.
What
No,
sense
that's
am I trying to
exactly what
make?
I said.
Sorry, what sense
You're
am I?
trying to somehow say that because black people can be colorist and colorism is racism, black people can be racism. That's the correlation you're trying to make here.
So which one of those things are wrong? That colorism is racism, or black people can't be colorists?
I'm definitely not the one about black people can be colorists because black people can be colorists.
Can black people be anti-black?
Correct.
Isn't anti-blackness a form of racism?
No, not necessarily.
So how is it versus how is it not? Because you said not necessarily, meaning it could be.
Well, what you're trying to do here is you're trying to oversimplify what colorism is, just like y'all trying to oversimplify what racism is.
I mean, but
So, colorism is the product of a system that has told black people historically and even to this day that their racial group ain't shit, won't ever be shit, has never been shit. And so naturally what is going to happen is in response to that, people are going to trauma response by coming up with this idea that their blackness is somehow bad because of how it is oftentimes affiliated with shit that is negative. So at most you can say that colorism is a rejection of one's own racial group.
I disagree with that.
Due to the trauma that has cropped up as a result of racism.
I disagree with that because colorism is
You can
quite
disagree
literally.
all you want. You can disagree all you want, but it doesn't change the fact that that's what colorism comes
No,
from.
colorism is quite literally the degrading of darker skinned people.
No, it's not necessarily the degradation of dark skin. It's the rejection of one's own race.
So that means that, okay, so that would apply to light skinned black people then.
Yes, because oftentimes when they are, how you see light-skinned people rejecting their racial group is they attack the people who represents the extreme of that.
You're contradicting
and that would be
yourself.
dark-skinned people, and that would be dark-skinned people that represent the extreme of their racial group.
So you're disagreeing that colorism is literally the degrading of darker skinned people and elevating of lighter skin because it's seen as closer to whiteness.
Well,
You're
yes,
disagreeing
I reject
with that?
because that is not exactly what it is. I said that it's the rejection of one's own racial group, and you see that happening when they reject the extreme representation of their racial group, which is dark-skinned people.
That's not colorism. You don't have to be a colorist to reject your
colorism,
race.
But that is colorism.
That's not colorism.
That is colorism.
So are there people that are not colorists that reject being black?
No.
Oh my gosh.
Unless I'm misunderstanding what you said, so perhaps repeat what you said.
Are there
'cause maybe
people
I
who are
misunderstood.
black that are not dark skinned that reject their race?
That is not how you originally worded that, but hearing
It's
it
the
again,
same
yes, they
thing.
do reject their race. But I already said that.
Okay, so I asked you what
You're just repeating what I said because I already said that.
What I
said
asked
it's
you literally-
light-skinned people rejecting their racial group, and they reject the most extreme representation of that, which is dark-skinned people.
But what I quite literally asked you was, are there black people who aren't colorists that reject being black?
No, sir, because the way you're wording it is you're saying that there are black people who reject black, but they're not registered as colorists. In order to reject your own race, you have to be considered colorist,
No,
sir.
you don't.
Yes, you do.
Says who?
That is literally what colorism is.
Colorism does not say you reject your race. You reject your
You're
skin
actually,
tone.
what's happening here is you're hyperfixating on the fact that the term colorist or colorism has color in it.
Because it has to do with your
But when the
skin
word
tone, right?
but the word color denotes to more than just skin tone, Bookie Bud.
Okay, so outside of your skin tone, what else does colorism deal with?
It refers to your whole racial group.
That would include light-skinned people.
It would include more than just your skin color, because colorism also, well, they call it texturism, but texturism is
That's with your
offshoot of
hair.
that.
That's separate.
Featureism is a rejection of that, but all of that stems from, again, what I just said. It is the trauma response to racism and having your race be viewed and demonized consistently.
So are you saying featureism and texturism is the same as colorism?
No, in the sense that they are, because one focuses on texture and one focuses on features, but they all stem from a rejection of your own racial group.
But that doesn't mean they're all the same thing. They function
Sir, they
differently.
stem from the same situation. They just focus on different
You're-
parts of the African experience
You're-
or the
you're-
Black American experience.
And you said I'm oversimplifying this.
I'm not oversimplifying anything.
So
Because
what?
I'm recognizing the complexity by identifying the layers that is present here.
So what's the difference
You are
between color?
rejecting those layers because you're oversimplifying by saying it's just merely about skin color.
Well, that's literally what colorism entails. So what's the?
Colorism doesn't entail just skin color, Bookie Bud.
Do you have a source for that?
I explained it to you.
Do you have a
I
source?
explained it to you. I'm actually looking at it right now.
Okay, can you put it on the screen so I can see it too?
No, I can't put it on the screen.
Can
because
you
it's
read
on
it
my
to me?
computer. Yes, I can.
What's the source, by the way?
Hold on, give me just a moment. Let me find it again. Okay, hold on. Because my computer is tripping.
Here's a primary source.
I can't give you shit if my computer is tripping. I can't
No,
see
I'm
nothing.
asking you, is it a primary source?
A primary source, what do you mean by that? That would come from where?
A primary source.
What is a primary source?
Oh, wow.
You're saying, oh, wow. I'm asking you. It's not that I don't understand. What is a primary source?
If you understand what a
I'm
primary
asking
source is, then why are you asking me?
because I want to understand if you understand what a primary source is.
Yes,
I can ask while also understanding myself.
Wow. Newspapers, news articles, college peer-reviewed sources, academic sources. These are all primary sources of information.
Okay, good. I'm glad you know. Of course, why
Yeah,
would it
that's
come
why
from
I
anywhere
asked
else?
you, because I know what one is.
I do too. And
So-
why would I pull this from anywhere else?
That's what everybody else does. That's why I was asking you.
No, I'm pulling it from a primary source. It would come from a scholastic article, actually, I believe. Once my computer gets to acting right. Okay, you're gonna have to give me a moment. It's gonna be a minute because my computer is gonna start.
Well, this is from Duke University, Duke Law Center on Law, Race, and Policy. Colorism Corner. Skin color discrimination, also known as colorism, is the differential treatment of individuals based upon the relatively lightness or darkness of their skin.
Mm-hmm.
So that sounds like what I said.
Okay.
So where was I wrong?
But at no point in time, if you were listening to what I actually said, that I reject that it was color, that color was involved. I said it's not just that.
So what else is it? Because you brought up other forms of discrimination outside of colorism.
I said it's a rejection of your entire racial group. Have you not been listening to me when I was saying that?
That's not colorism.
Yes, that is entailed in colorism.
So when light-skinned black people are colorist against black people, that's them rejecting themselves or dark-skinned black
Correct.
people?
So I don't understand why that's hard for you to grasp, that it would be a rejection of oneself. I don't understand why that's a hard concept
So
for you
wait,
to
doesn't
grasp.
so wouldn't that benefit white
Because
people?
because guess what? Because the colorism before colorism was the thing, but now they're calling it anti-blackness. Why do you think they're calling it anti-blackness now?
Anti-blackness, colorism is a form of anti-blackness. It's not anti-blackness
Okay,
itself.
and me asking you why they're calling it now anti-blackness is
They
not
don't. Who calls
necessarily.
it anti-blackness?
Excuse you. Allow me to fucking finish my point. Them saying that it's now anti-blackness is not it's not a rejection that colorism is a part of that, sir. It's acknowledging that colorism is involved in that. You ain't never heard people say instead of colorism on TikTok that you refer to it as anti-blackness, or am I like, or do you not participate in TikTok?
No, people usually just say, "Oh, you are colorist if you do something
No,
like
I've
that."
never heard anybody
Okay,
on TikTok
well,
say colorist.
we have two different experiences, so neither one of us is
I've
wrong.
heard people utilize anti-black instead.
Yeah, I only really hear anti-black. I only hear colorism when it's like black people talking to other black people.
Well, that's how colorism functions. It's within the same group.
I'm talking about in terms of this prompt.
Hmm?
So, like I said, it would also be a rejection of oneself because colorism does talk about color, but to reduce it down to just color is reductive. And people who practice colorism, as you say, are anti-blackness, is rejecting oneself as well.
Which would be racism.
No, it's not.
So it doesn't benefit white people for black people to be colorist or quote unquote anti-black.
I mean,
They
it
reap
would
the benefits
but it's
regardless.
not necessarily racism. You can't
So wait a
practice
minute.
racism within your own race. That's not how racism
So
was
you can't have
designed to work.
racism with your own group, but you can have internalized racism within your own group.
No,
That's what internalized racism
I don't
is.
identify it as internalized racism.
That's the academic definition of all of this.
What academic
I'll bring
source
up
are you
another
pulling
source.
from? I'm sorry, what?
I'll bring up another source.
I thought you had it already.
I thought you already knew what that was.
You thought I knew what was.
Internalized racism.
I do know what it was, but you said it's coming from an academic source, and I'm asking you what academic source are you pulling this information from?
National Library of Medicine.
I'm not asking for you to define internalized racism. I know what that is. I'm asking for the academic source you're referencing.
National Library of Medicine.
Okay, what's the name of the article? Because the National Library of Medicine is just that. It's
Internalized
a
racism
library
and
of articles.
internalized racism and mental health, the moderating role of collective racial self-esteem.
Okay, I can't type all of that fast.
Okay, well.
Internalized what?
Internalized racism and mental health,
Mm-hmm.
the moderating role of collective racial self-esteem.
Okay, hold on. You don't have to go because it pulled it up. Let me see. Is this? Yes, the one. Yeah, this is an article, not the National Institute of Library. That's just the database.
I'm looking at the article right now. Very long.
I am too, but it's not just on the National Library of Medicine. You reference the National Library of Medicine as the source itself. That's just the database for it.
Sir, that's the source I'm using.
You're actually using the database, and I'm not a sir. My pronouns are they, them, she, her.
I apologize. I didn't know your pronouns.
I'm not holding you accountable for that because you didn't know. But you should have because you've been in our spaces before.
I don't recall.
Okay.
So what's the contention here?
I don't know. You asked me a question.
You said
I'll be just responding.
you're making it seem like you said it's the database or it's not
the contention is between you and PK. You asked me a question and I was responding. That's how we ended up, you and I, talking.
Oh, you thought I said something that PK said.
Yeah, but then you turned around and asked me a question. The discourse could have stopped there once PK confirmed that it was them. And
no, I'm talking about
anyway.
the contention with the article.
I haven't had a chance to read the article, so I can't give you any contention. Like, I just literally started reading it. And this is a lengthy article, so I'm not going to be able to read all of this in this one sitting.
So you taking back what you said about there not
No,
being...
I'm not taking back I'm not taking back anything, because I haven't had a chance to read anything
Well,
to take,
initially you said that there was no internalized racism.
Yeah, and I haven't had a chance to read anything.
But
Like
then,
me reading the article doesn't necessarily, me reading the headline doesn't necessarily confirm anything.
but you said you knew what it was, but you're saying it doesn't
Yes,
exist.
I did say that I knew what it was.
So which one is it? It exists or it doesn't?
I know it doesn't exist.
Okay, can you prove that it doesn't exist?
Can you prove that it does exist?
Yeah.
Because I haven't read this article, so this article doesn't necessarily prove anything.
Internalized racism is the internalization of beliefs about racism and
All you're doing is
colonization.
defining. That's not evidence of proof. That's not proving anything
Well, we
by
already
defining
proved
it.
it. We already proved it when we agreed that black people who engage in colorism are rejecting themselves. That would be internalized racism.
No, not necessarily.
I mean, just saying not necessarily isn't proving a point.
And you telling me that I agree that black people, you actually didn't agree, because I said it's a part of colorism and you saying it's not, and so we actually didn't agree on that, and you still have yet to prove that it actually does exist.
That what exists?
Internalized racism, as you call it.
Yeah, anti-blackness would be a form of that.
Okay, go ahead and prove that.
Yeah, so when black people engage,
No, I don't need you to tell me anything, sir.
so
Just like you did with the article, go ahead and pull this up.
what am I pulling up? Because you didn't even want me to read the
Something that
article.
proves that anti-blackness is internalized racism. No, I'm not asking you to read anything.
Okay.
You're not going to sit here and read this whole article. It's too long for you to sit here and
I
do
wasn't
that.
gonna read the whole article, but okay.
Okay, so no.
Okay, 1 second. So this is short. This is coming from the city of Seattle.
The
They
city
say
of Seattle. You mean the government?
cityofseattle.gov.
That's the
Internal.
government.
Yeah,
Okay, don't trust it.
but you trusted the National Library. Okay. Okay. So
No,
so
I didn't
now
trust the national. I didn't trust the National Library of Medicine. Again, that's a database, honey. What you did is you went and sourced the article from said database.
which
Because
proves what?
that article is not only on the National Library of Medicine, because I found it on a different database that's
So
not the
just
National
because you
Library
find
of
an
Medicine.
article on multiple sources doesn't mean anything.
I'm not saying it does. You said that I was relying on the National Library of Medicine, and all I'm doing is highlighting that
I
is a
said
database.
I was using it, not you.
Yes, you were, but you're trying to say that is the source, and it's not. It is
I'm
a
saying it's the
house for said
source,
source.
sir. I'm saying it's the source
The
I
source is
use.
the article, and call me sir one more time when I've told you that my
I
pronouns are they,
apologize.
them, she,
Okay.
her.
What would you like me to call you?
I done already gave you. This is my third time giving it to you. My pronouns are they, them, she, her.
You said she, her? Okay.
They, them, she, her. Correct. Internalized racism and mental health, the moderating role of collective racial esteem is the source. National Database of Medicine is the house for said source.
So again, the article is on that source.
The article is the source.
I mean, if we want to play semantics about what the source is in the site, that you can have that. I don't care about that. I mean, that's just a way of trying to debunk something without debunking it.
I'm not debunking
You gotta
anything.
make sure
At no point in
that
time
the
did I reject this article. I just said I haven't had a chance to read it.
So how can you reject it when you haven't read it?
I'm not rejecting the article itself. I never rejected the article.
So why are we having this semantical battle about the source?
Because you want to go there with it, I guess. Because you keep using the word source wrong.
Okay.
But I already told you I wasn't going to be able to read this article because it's too long in order to understand
We
what
don't
is
have
fully
to read the entire
discussing.
article. It just gives a overview of what internalized
Well, in order
racism
for
is.
me to understand what is being said, the overview doesn't necessarily capture anything over. Because I've written literary reviews before. Because that's literally what this is—a literary review on this specific source. And so, in having the right that the abstract is not intended to necessarily tell you, like define internalized racism. What it does is talk about what they're doing in said literary review. So what they're doing is making a comparison and stuff. That's what an abstract for. It explains the article itself, but it's not necessarily describing internalized racism.
So what about? I got one. The critical race theory department of UCLA. They have their own article on internalized racism. So this ain't just a database. This is them on their website writing about it. And you say it doesn't exist.
I never said that.
Okay, y'all got it.
I'm tired.
You asked me to prove that it exists.
And you haven't proved that it does.
I did. You just tried to be semantical about the source.
No, you haven't, sir. You gave me a source, but I haven't read this, so you're expecting me to just be like, okay, you've given me a source, and I'm going to accept it when I haven't had the chance to read it, because we're not going to sit here and pretend that motherfuckers go and find articles and based on the title, they think they found something that actually substantiates their claim. And I can't tell you how many times I have read articles that motherfucker came and gave me that they thought support their claim when in actuality it supports mine.
I've had that happen too.
Excuse you.
No.
So in order to substantiate or actually prove that you have actually proven me wrong, I have to take the time to read this. And again, the length of this article makes it impossible for me to take the time and read this, and when we're merely talking about this right now. I don't have enough time to read this whole article. Pardon?
I just gave you a shorter one. It's only 4 pages. Actually, it's probably less than that. It's actually 2 pages.
And you talking about from Seattle?
No.
That was the only one you mentioned, and you said something about the critical race theory.
I mean, ma'am. I gave you the Center for Critical Race Studies, UCLA. You want the name of the article?
Okay, that would have been much helpful.
Internalized Racism. The Consequences and Impact of Racism on People of Color.
Okay, you're going to have to say that again because that is a lot.
The Consequences and Impact of Racism on People of Color.
Hold on, let me see UCLA. Because it did not pull up UCLA. Okay, so you said the influence of internalized race. That is not it. That is something else.
Internalized racism. The consequences and impact of racism on people of color.
UCLA.
What's the conversation about?
So essentially, Maceo is saying that black people can be racist because we experience internalized racism in the form of colorism and anti-blackness.
But that's not structural. Like, those are all, like, extensions of the structure of race, but that's not actually a part, like, that's not the structure of race itself. Like, colorism would be, like, the way that we observe, like, different skin tones within the black race, so it wouldn't be, like, an act of racism. That's why it's called colorism.
It's all anti-blackness, is it not?
But anti-blackness is not inherently racist.
Anti-blackness is not inherently racist.
Wait, why did you just blurt over me before I finished
because
my
I
point?
just wanted to clarify that's what you just said.
But you heard what I said, that's why you repeated it.
No, because this is the type of thing that people say, and then in another live they say they didn't say it.
I'm saying you're blurting over. You're not actually allowing.
Thank you, JB.
Yeah. So JV with the big one. I just missed that galaxy. Yeah. No. So anti-blackness. No, it's not. Because race is a structure. So anti-blackness within the black community would not be like would not be the act of racism. Because you're not active, like you're not participating in anything against another racial demographic that would be marginalized beneath you. So I wouldn't even say a light-skinned black person exhibiting colorism towards a dark-skinned black person would be the act of racism because they're both members of the same race.
So in the hierarchy, are black men above black women?
That's why I tried to tell him, but that wouldn't necessarily be racism. That would be
That's
what is
patriarchy.
it?
That's
Sexism or
misogyny.
patriarchy. Yeah,
Misogynoir would entail what you just said doesn't happen.
No,
Because that would
doesn't
literally
tell when it
be
doesn't happen.
a black man being
But
anti.
no,
You
no.
can't let
What
me
you're trying
finish.
to
So
do,
now
what
they.
you're trying to do, what you're trying to do is synonymize racial. I mean, not racial, it's gender-based issues in the black community with race or skin color, and it has nothing to do with that. Because even with light-skinned women, they experience misogynoir as well.
Yeah, and so do dark skinned black women, and it's
Well, I know
colorism.
that. Well, I know that, but
Hold on a
misogynoir is not.
second.
Hold on, real quick, King. Misogynoir is not exclusive to dark-skinned women, though.
I didn't say it was.
Light-skinned black women experience it as well, so you cannot synonymize misogynoir with colorism.
Does it happen from black
Who will be
men?
beneath him? The fuck?
Hold on, I can't talk to both of y'all at the same time.
I'm not talking to you. Why is somebody thank you? All right, go ahead.
So they just said you're not doing it against somebody that's beneath you. So that would mean misogynoir from black
No,
men.
what King
Can I
is
finish
talking
what I'm
about-
saying?
You don't get the chance to do that in my space. I run this bitch like I want to, and you should understand that.
Okay, so it's not a real
You
conversation.
come in our spaces plenty of times to know what
I don't know
what
your
you have to say
space.
does not take a you have been in our spaces before.
I'm not saying that I haven't. I'm saying I don't
Okay,
recall.
so it doesn't matter
This is
if you've
too
been in my
much
space
energy.
once, twice, 3 times. You should know at this point that I
This is
don't
too
care.
much energy. This is way too much energy for a simple discussion.
I'm trying to talk and they cutting me off. So who's giving the
Yeah,
energy?
because I can do that. And with that being said, King didn't say anything about. He said they would be beneath you, but it's based on racial superiority. In the case of you explaining misogynoir, that has nothing to do with race, but more so to do with misogyny in the black community.
You didn't let me finish.
can I ask you a question?
Because
Wait,
that
let me just ask this
oh
question.
my gosh.
Let me just ask this question.
I'm not
Would an
answering it.
overseer be considered a master?
I'm not. I'm talking to the host.
Okay, no. Oh, you can go because we're not doing that. That damn sure. Because we're not doing that. That damn sure we're not doing. We're not throwing hissy fits and we're not having temper tantrums. Logan, would an overseer be considered a slave master? The fuck?
Yes, they would be.
He doesn't want to answer. This is narcissism. That he doesn't have to answer the logic. That's crazy.
Yes, an overseer would be considered a master, even if that overseeing be temporary. They would be a proxy.
No, an
of
overseer wouldn't be.
Well,
That wouldn't be considered a master. A slave master is an owner of the slave, enslaved person. An overseer is someone who's charged with the responsibility of directing and managing them.
well, I think
So it's
that
not-
also depends. In this case, I would agree since you made that clarification. But if you simply ask if a master is an overseer, that can be an overseer can be viewed as a master.
I don't know about that because, like, a master, like, I can't imagine a enslaved person calling an overseer master because that's not, like, the master is the owner, is the person who has possession over
Well,
their
I
life.
mean, that is part of being a master, but that is not the only thing that makes a person a master because a master is also an overseer. So a person can be seen as master and referred to as such, even if the role be temporary.
But how is that structurally sound, though? Like, even in every example that's ever been given about slavery and everything I've read on it, overseers were never conflated with masters. Because the point that I'm making is that the same can be said about black men versus white men with the system of racism versus.
Well, I'm not necessarily rejecting. I'm not rejecting what you're saying.
Wait, I just want to finish.
Well, what I'm saying, King,
I'm sorry,
hold
go ahead.
on. What I'm saying to you, King, is not. I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying is, if you don't add the clarification, it can be because I have heard it be synonymized. You have to take into account everybody's perspective on those words. Because I mean, in your case, I'm not rejecting.
I don't think that that's a correct analysis though of that word though. Like I don't like a master would be the owner. Like that's always been a clear depiction. A master is the owner of the estate. Like even a wife, like even the wife of a master is called a mistress, but that's because they are the owner. And even the children, like those who inherit, would be maybe considered masters. But an overseer is more like a manager, right? So the best would be: would you consider a manager of a store, of a department, the CEO of the entire store? Like that would be.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It depends on the context because you can actually serve as both manager and the owner. So that's why I'm saying you have to provide the context because in some it says in historical context they are not, but a master could also be referred to as overseer.
I have to see that reference because I've never heard of a slave master. An overseer being seen as the same as a slave master. And the same I would say about black men that they're not a part of the same structure is essentially what I'm saying. Like that's a different dynamic. And so to say that black men can be racist against black women because of misogynoir doesn't make sense structurally.
Well, I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that black men
No, I know
can
you're
be
not.
racist
I'm not.
against
That's
black
not.
women.
I'm not. No, that argument was for Maceo.
Oh, but in this case, I'm talking about specifically the master. I mean, it's saying that they are not the same. And they use the same analogy you did. The master's the owner, the overseer is the manager. But like I said, it depends on the context because it's